Player can use this to set the suitable, excuse me, sect leader for the current sect. The sect leader's ability will affect the mood of the disciples, and changing or retiring the sect leader has the same effect. Establish branch. Once the player's sect becomes heavenly abode, branches can be established. The more able the branch leader, the more bonuses the disciples in the branch will gain. Once a branch is established, branch areas can be planned through the building, which provide bonus effects for disciples. Changing or retiring the sect leader will also affect the disciples. Disciples list. Age 1470. Cool. Can X to expel a disciple. Get out here. Diplomacy. Okay, the player can check this page to learn information about the relationship. Cool. These sect functions play an important role during the game, and the player can use them to develop their own sect and plan different strategies. So to learn the difference between Feng Shui buildings and non-Feng Shui buildings, and how to adjust Feng Shui according to their elements. Okay. Building. Life. Bed. A single bed that can provide you with a good night's sleep. Feng Shui building. Game. Most buildings classified under life, work, sect, and entertainment with the Feng Shui building tag belong to Feng Shui buildings. These buildings Feng Shui changes with elemental environment at their location. When the element of the environment begets that of the building, Feng Shui will be good and vice versa. Building in the game, a building with no Feng Shui building tag is decoration. Tag is decoration. Most of these buildings will inherit the elemental attribute of their main material and affect the elemental environment around them. The buildings themselves are not affected by the 5 elements, nor have Feng Shui. A decorative structure can affect the 5 elements of its surroundings based on its material. Again, some buildings have their own or undefined tag. It will not be affected by the element of the main material, so what influences the elemental environment is the element in the tag. Bar, timber, stone block. Whenever some buildings have an elemental attribute for the ground they are on, which is completely different from the element of the buildings. For example, a stove's ground is of fire element, and a well's ground is of water element, so the player needs to explore this feature and learn more about Feng Shui. Confuse. Feng Shui mode. The brownstone table is a feng shui building of earth element. So it is affected by the interactions of 5 elements in the environment. Feng Shui's mode: if a building is yellow or red, it means its feng shui is bad. The current building is red, which is clearly affected by a counteractive element. Parasol lumber is an item of wood element that affects the elemental environment around it. Parasol lumber is okay. Read that. Parasol lantern is a decoration of wood element that affects the elemental environment around it. Yeah. Mean. Select the spirits on this one on the left. Lantern. Pleasant igneo copper bar has improved the fire element in their environment. How do I know it's improved? Right here? Having a igneo copper lantern has improved the fire element in the environment. Due to the change in elemental environment, the brownstone table is affected by the fire element in the environment that gets with the table's earth element, so the feng shui has become better. Select the room. I cramped it. Okay. Slight ominous. Room layout. Crampedness. Bedroom. Feng shui leakage. Brownstone square table. Spirit stone bed. Right click to open the comment panel. The room feng shui. Show comment. All feng shui buildings feng shui effects that are that of the room, which is decided by the overall feng shui of all the buildings in it. A cramped or empty layout of the room will impair feng shui. Sweet. Depending on the function of the room, its feng shui will be affected by factors like the direction of the door and having multiple doors. A bedroom should be facing south, so the door should be built at the bottom. A bedroom should be facing south, so the door should be built at the bottom. I'll click help in the right side of the rooms. Feng Shui 5. Let's learn more details about rules. Okay. Given the coordinates of an inner disciple's room and how to meet the requirement for Feng Shui. All right. Got myself a little bit of refreshments. Ready to continue this tutorial. Okay. Okay, a disciple's law is of metal element, and according to the interactions of the 5 elements, we need to assign a room of earth element to this disciple. This room is of high fire element, counteractive with the element of the disciple's law, so it is not suitable to be the room. It's a okay. This room is of high earth element, connective with the element of the disciples' law, so it is suitable to be their room. See. This room is okay. Use further interactions of the 5 elements to select a room for an inner disciple and try to build the room in an area of an element that we get that of the disciple. The language, man. Words they use just kind of annoying. This disciple is a metal element, so it is more suitable for them to participate on an environment rich in earth. Make sure. Okay. Spirit stone, crystal iron. Which, so I don't know. Stone. Iron bar. Iron bed. Sign. Firm. A bed, a cushion, or a throne can all be used as the training spot. Its main material should be of the same element as the inner disciple's law. Sure. Or timberstone. Sensor. Effective. Okay. The main feng shui building, disciples' room is usually the bed, cushion, throne, etc. Rooms that contain these feng shui buildings are usually bedrooms that should face south. The key to planning an inner disciples' room is to use decorations of elements that begets that of the disciples' law. Oil lamp of earth element gets a disciple's metal law, so use metal materials to build the training spot. This will learn the necessary information related to trade and how to trade with merchants. Oh man. Oops. Oops. What did I disappear to? I'm back. There. Okay. We will stay here for 1 day. Merchant will come to the sect once in a while and the player can trade resources with them. The currency for trade is mainly spirit stones, and items of equal value can be exchanged. The player need to prepare the resources to be traded before each building area. Trade area. Trade area. Every time a merchant comes, they will bring a large amount of resources, so prepare the items that need to be traded beforehand in case you miss the trading time. Trade. Here are resources for the merchant. Use the hotkeys to select multiple resources in the batch. Okay. The trade borrow sect, okay. When both sides agree the price, they can press from below. Every time the merchant arrives, they will stay for a while, so the player can trade for multiple times. But remember, if a merchant dies in the player sect, all resources will belong to the player sect. But no merchants will come to the sect to trade anymore. So please think twice before you act. That's kind of cool that you could attack them and everything belongs to you. But no more trades. Did this tutorial learn about the world location and world map and how to interact with these locations? Start. World. Once the player has inner disciples, you can use world map to send disciples to these locations for adventure, during which they will encounter different secrets and attain rewards and resources from them. Secret. A secret in the game, the ongoing secret will be displayed here. The secret and a camera will jump to the location. The player has sent a disciple to an adventure or camping somewhere. It will be shown here. Click recall if the player needs to recall disciple. And each power in the map has its own range. We learn many interactions. Next, let's learn some more about basic location. Adventure. When the disciple is going on adventure to the target location, the time cost is related to the disciple stats like their state and adventure speed. The player can send multiple disciples at the same time to the location for adventuring. New exploration progress of the current location through both adventure and camping. The player can make gradual progress with the exploration, and as the exploration progresses, secret locations around it will be unlocked. 100% means the location has been completely explored. After learning about adventure and camping, the player can go to world locations to obtain various rare resources, discover interesting secrets, and visit other sects. Learn to establish and manage an agency in this tutorial. Click world map. City of Abundance. It is a city where various kinds of political buildings can be built. Disciples can be recruited. Once an out disciple has been assigned to an agency, more agency functions and buildings will be unlocked. Okay. A main hall represents our power. This is also where the people learns about us. Unlocks charity policies. Show our kindness by giving alms. Once the player has an agency, they can check and manage that agency. Like a recruiting place? Here's all the agencies in the game, and only if agency has been assigned to a disciple can the player manage it through this menu. The main info for each agency can be quickly accessed here, and clicking the buttons in the right opens the agency menu for more detail. Manual labor. Send agents or disciples to supervise manual labor. Will gain extra production once in a while. The productivity of the fields is affected by the farming stats. That of mines and spirit stone mines by minerals. That of logging camps by population. Each agency can have different local policies. When special events happen, deciding policies is often related to factors like influence, belief, and population. Charity, who needs them, different problems will come up. Each agency has its own storage. Every once in a while, the player can click claim to collect the local resources, but remember that the storage is limited. Claim. I am clicking. Sure. Sometimes paying close attention is a good way to increase the frequency of events in the agency, but it will cost more resource. Click watch. So confused, guys. Here's some information on agents of the agencies controlled by the player, like the agent's total stats and disciples stuff. Okay. Well, can't read. Okay, some more info. Once the player has an agency, they can check and manage this agency, okay? Charity. Auron led the disciples to the street and started giving alms to passersby. They came across a broken wooden house. Its owner is handicapped and unable to repair it. Inspect the event. Following the tips, the player can choose an appropriate solution, the effect of which is usually related to the stats of the disciples in the agency. Wood. Sure. Once the event is dealt with, the policy window will no longer show the exclamation point. How am I able to remember all of this stuff? Not gonna happen. Check the result. Choose to become our followers. Well, so was on the way up. More followers join us. It's not like there's an earthquake. Player can check the message in the left to see the ongoing special event in the agency. An earthquake, remaining days 20. Needs to meet the following requirement before the countdown ends. The event is only completed if the requirements are met before the countdown ends. A number of followers will leave if the event is not completed. The player can use adventure to help finish special events. But there are special features. If handled appropriately, the agency will gain a lot of influence. A large influence helps the player to expand their territory and level up the agency. Agencies can also bring many benefits to the player's sect, such as local output, recruiting disciples, obtaining belief. Learn how to interact with the other sects. Trade with them. When tutorial are these tutorials gonna end, man? We're just reading. This is like reading a book. World map. Player needs to give sect a meeting gift to complete the visit, so please plan a trade area beforehand and select an appropriate trading item. More contents will only be unlocked after the visit is complete. Sheet music. Blue Lotus Temple Senior Disciple has consumed a large amount of lifespan due to tasks in the mortal realm and is facing the end of their life. An elixir is needed to prolong their life, but there is none in the sect right now. Once a sect request has been triggered, question mark will show above the expand button, which means the player can offer help to another sect and gain connections. Use the quest item needed by the other sect. The player needs to play and prepare an item in the trader to give it to them. Okay. Connections and 0 connection and 50 favor. Lula's Temple. There are many ways to gain connections with a sect which affect future trade with the sect. Generally, trading with a sect will benefit from more connections with it. Yeah, see, tradable. Elixirs. Ginseng. Blood talent. Confirm. During sect trade, the player can use a temp trade to estimate the value of the other sect's item, which helps to purchase the item at appropriate price. Okay. How to enter a location and begin exploration in this tutorial. Alright. One moment. Okay, so this is the last one in this one. This little section. After that, we got advance. So a handful more, we're done. Explore the jurisdiction of the current location. The location belongs to a power. Disciples need to gain access from this power to go on to ensure a camp. Access can be purchased in advance to freely enter all the locations belong to a sect, which helps the player explore the other location of the sect. The red area in the world map is where the player has no access to. You can't purchase access to the area that belong to this power. After being unlocked, the area will turn to the normal color, which means the player can enter and explore there. Okay. Most locations in the game can be entered. Explored by dispatching the disciple who is camping there. Player can send a disciple to the camping there, yeah? Moving. Move button. Character move. E. V.